trying to survive. That's it.
My goodness!
He looks like an average school kid, but behind that baby face hides the most dangerous fighter on the planet. Tenshin Nasukawa has conquered kickboxing, MMA, and boxing, forcing even world-class stars to admit his greatness. Every knockout he lands is a work of art and a proof that nobody comes close. And now we will find out what price this young Japanese guy had to pay to become a living icon of sport. This is Boxing Land. Here we go. Back in childhood, while other kids Tenshin's age were figuring out how to tie their shoelaces, Nasukawa already knew how to tie a taekwondo belt. The moment the Japanese hit 16, he immediately moved into professional kickboxing, and the role of his first examiner was given to Tomo Arimatsu. Arimatsu had solid fight experience on his side. But that authority didn't faze the young samurai at all. Tenshin quickly found his rhythm and with a single snap sent his opponent on a date with the canvas. The veteran somehow managed to get back to his feet, but that only delayed the inevitable, because seconds later, Nasukawa threw a high kick and sent his opponent off to count the stars. That night, the world got its first look at a 16-year-old schoolboy doing real miracles. After loudly getting into business, Tenshin put aesthetic finishes on a conveyor belt in Liu Kang style. Which meant the fans' love didn't take long to arrive, just like the first opportunity to fight for a title. His opponent for the Rise Gold was Yuta Murakoshi. The bell rang, and Tenshin immediately got down to business, giving his countrymen a one-sided beating session. And already in the second round, he made sure the nearest emergency room had a new patient. Having claimed his first serious title, the young champion shed a single manly tear. But the gold he had wasn't enough for Nasukawa because his ambitions demanded new and even louder triumphs. He rushed to conquer the Blade Tournament, becoming in the ring a real-life embodiment of the Daywalker. In the quarterfinal, Tenshin spent just 90 seconds to execute his opponent. Then in the semifinal, Tenshin first threw his opponent into a meat grinder. And then finished him off effortlessly with heavy artillery of his hands. The final pitted Nasukawa against shootboxing champion Taiki Naito. The two best fighters of the tournament went face to face, and only one was destined to walk away with the trophy. The fight started, and Naito's pressure shattered against Nasukawa's very first counter, which nearly knocked his head off. But getting back to his feet, Naito became the first man to show the prodigy what pain feels like. However, that boldness turned out to be Taiki's last bright moment of the day. Because just seconds later, Tenshin found the off switch on him. That evening, Nasukawa added another gold to his collection, and after the fight calmly headed home, because tomorrow is school and nobody was doing his math homework for him. Having built an insane record of 16-0, Nasukawa became the regular exterminator for other people's ambitions, because any fighter facing him already understood in advance what was waiting for him in the ring. And at the next stage of his career, Nasukawa had to face the Muay Thai elite, represented by Wanchalong. The Thai machine held a world title and was one of the main faces of the Thai generation of fighters. However, when the undefeated prodigy stood before him, he apparently understood that keeping his status wasn't going to be easy. So from the very start, the Thai ignored all codes of honor and opened the fight with blatant, dirty tactics. In response, Tenshin instantly activated educator mode, set on drilling the rules of decency into his opponent's head.
Wanchalong firing back, but eating blow after blow here. Combination upon combination, Tenshin Nasukawa teeing off on Wanchalong here.
Despite the hail of shots he ate, the Iron Thai only grew more vicious, his whole demeanor showing that this portion of pain wasn't enough for him.
The southpaw fighter is just high kick there, Wanchalong.
But the moment the Thai started believing in his own power, the young genius switched the lights off in his head in the blink of an eye.
Oh, spinning kick there from Tenshin Nasukawa. Puts Wanchalong on the canvas. Brutal.
With this victory, Tenshin proved that he isn't just a talented kid, but a genuine phenomenon standing several levels above the rest of the world kickboxing elite. But all those triumphs were just a prelude to the main test, which was the legendary Rodtang, whose impenetrable head earned him the name Iron Man. Over his last 13 fights, he left nothing but dust of his opponents and seemed simply unbreakable. Rodtang even came onto Nasukawa's territory to turn his home arena into the site of his greatest humiliation. On the line was the most coveted title for both men, namely the Rise World Championship. The bell rang, and the slaughter started without any reconnaissance. Tenshin immediately switched on samurai mode, gradually taking control through perfect timing and fast combinations. But the Thai tank didn't even register the damage. He just kept bulldozing forward, brazenly provoking Tenshin to hit him even harder. That kamikaze tactic worked, and in the second half of the fight, Rodtang fully came to the fore, methodically dragging an exhausted Nasukawa into the deep waters. The final round turned into a vivid festival of pain, where both fighters showed 120% of their power. And then, the final bell rang. Everyone held their breath, waiting for the new champion's name. When suddenly the judges announced a draw, which meant everyone was in for an extra round from two enraged gladiators. The cost of a mistake was fatal, but both fighters kept swinging without looking back. Having gone through actual hell, Nasukawa took what was his, winning the hardest victory of his career. Having cleaned out the division down to its foundations, Tenshin officially transformed from a contender into the absolute and undisputed king of the ring. Meanwhile, in the shadow of Tenshin's success, a real nightmare for any fighter was taking shape.
Front kick, you need to do that front kick, man.
Takeru Sagawa, whose dominance across 3 weight classes made him a living icon of K1.
He is hurt, man. They're gonna call it. Jeez. Tenshin building.
On the day they met, Takeru Sagawa looked unbreakable, carrying a phenomenal streak of 35 consecutive triumphs. The bell rang, and the opening stretch became a Nasukawa showcase. After the break, the beating only picked up pace. Tenshin fully locked in and started cutting through Takeru with every shot. In an attempt to escape certain disaster, Sagawa crossed the line and landed a dirty shot, headbutting Tenshin. Tenshin overcame his own pain and refused to leave the ring, intending to see things through to the end. Only by knocking Nasukawa off the balance with that dirty foul did Sagawa get a chance to impose anything resembling an even fight. But he didn't expect Tenshin to be capable of turning pain into fuel for his own power. Sagawa showed incredible resilience just by surviving to the final bell. But the judge's verdict was predetermined, and the crown stayed with Tenshin. Putting a spectacular full stop on this story, Nasukawa said goodbye to the kickboxing ring to write his name into new disciplines to the applause of a devoted audience. The thirst for new triumphs brought Tenshin to Risen, where he decided to conquer the world of MMA from the bottom up. The first test in this new chapter was a fighter by the name of Nikita Sapun. With the bell, Tenshin literally started breaking his opponent down on the feet. Then the Ukrainian realized he couldn't compete with Nasukawa in the striking power and decided to take the fight to the ground. After which, Tenshin found himself in a situation that nearly cost him the fight because the Ukrainian was one step away from breaking his arm. Having heroically broken free from the hold, the Japanese fighter immediately switched into destruction mode, not giving his opponent the slightest chance to get up. Nasukawa activated ruthless machine mode and literally hammered Sapun into the canvas like nailing down a coffin lid. The victory in his first fight only whetted Nasukawa's appetite. Just 2 days later, he was back in action. Next on Tenshin's list was Kawika Oligo, who got the chance to stop the surging favorite. The fight had barely started when Oligo was literally drowning in Tenshin's attacks and, finding no other way out, tried to exploit Nasukawa's weak side. But Tenshin had done excellent work on his mistakes from the previous fight, and this time came in ready for an A+. Barely surviving to the break, the American immediately caught a devastating combo in the face in the second round. In a panic, Oligo crawled for the legs again, but managed to stick his own head right into the beast's mouth, recklessly exposing his neck to Tenshin's death grip. And so, Tenshin Nasukawa recorded his second MMA victory, pulling off a genuine sensation in just a matter of days. Tenshin fought his final MMA bout against Yamato Fujita, where in the first round, he dealt such a dose of pain that it turned his opponent's legs to jelly worse than soju. And then masterfully outclassed his opponent, turning the ring into his own personal masterclass. With that performance, Nasukawa wrote yet another winning chapter in his story, proving that whatever discipline he competes in, the result is always the same. Tenshin Nasukawa has proven that for a true genius, there are no boundaries and no limits.
So I'm just gonna try and survive. That's it.
My goodness!
Yes.
It doesn't matter what gloves he's wearing because he remains a predator in any setting. What do you think? Could Tenshin become a UFC champion? Like this video and subscribe to the channel.
お父さん、お母さん、本当にありがとうございました。